Hi, welcome to Munro Live. I'm Paul Turnbull. We're here in Farmington Hills, Michigan at Nissan's headquarters, and we had a chance to drive this, what was going to be the Nissan Rogue with the hybrid e-Power system. And we have Kurt here with us. Can you tell us a little bit about what makes this e-Power system a different way to do a hybrid?
Yeah, so the big difference with this system as opposed to other systems that are typically seen in the US market is that this is a series hybrid. What that means is the wheels are purely motor driven. There is no mechanical connection between the gas engine on board and the wheels. So what that does for the customer is deliver a smooth EV-like driving feel without the need to plug it in and with the convenience of going to a gas station to fill it up with fuel.
So this is new to the US, but Nissan's been working on this and has had it in the market for how long?
Yes, so the Nissan e-Power system first debuted in Japan in 2016 on the Note, the Nissan Note e-Power. The big difference between that system and what this third gen system will include is a 5-in-1 e-Power modular unit. The big benefit there is the reduced mass, the modularity of it, and the increased efficiency. And the reason why that's so crucial for the US is that we have higher driving speeds here, higher payloads, longer road trip driving scenes, which those first gen systems just would not have been able to deliver for a US customer.
And at Munro, we're big on the whole idea of integrating everything together, eliminating all the cables and extra brackets that you have everywhere, all the vehicle. Those are just opportunities for things to go wrong. Right. So put it all together in one system and you're going to have the highest quality and the lowest trouble. So love to see that. One of the things that we experience in the car is there's almost no NVH, no noise as the engine starts. Very seamless, and definitely that the fact that it's completely disconnected from the driveline felt like there's like no torque bump at all as the engine starts. Also, the calibration allowed it to change speeds as the vehicle was changing speeds, so it didn't sound odd, it didn't sound like a variable speed transmission or something. So is that something that's going to be in the Rogue?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, those elements were crucial to bringing this technology to market. Like you mentioned, a lot of times customers are probably driving hybrids and they're used to, as speed increases or as RPMs increase, as we traditionally know from a conventional transmission setup, that noise will increase too. But with this setup, being that the wheels are completely disconnected from the gas engine, there is that worry of customers not understanding, why is the engine coming on? Why isn't it on? So there was a critical target in development to minimize that engine on, off NVH and to try to make it as seamless as possible in those transition periods.
Now on the Rogue, when it comes, it's going to be a little different. What we were driving was the European version. And the Rogue is coming in, it's going to have all-wheel drive.
That's correct.
So it's going to have an extra motor in the rear.
That's correct.
To help give a little extra horsepower as well.
Right. Yeah, so this setup today is, like you mentioned, front-wheel drive only. That front motor is integrated into the 5-in-1 package I spoke about earlier. But Rogue will be offered with all-wheel drive, so that adds a second motor to the rear axle.
And that's coming out later this summer or fall?
Yep, that'll be later this year, 2026, yeah.
Now sitting in the European version of the Nissan Rogue. And this has the e-Power system, although the e-Power system that's going to be coming in later this year in the Nissan Rogue for the US market is going to be all-wheel drive, so it'll have a little additional power with the rear motor. So this is a front-wheel drive version only. The e-Power system, though, makes this car operate like an EV. So right now we're sitting here, the engine was running just a little bit to get the cabin warm, and now the engine is shut off, and so it's sitting as if it was an EV, not making any noise. We're comfortable in here, and I could put it in gear and out, I guess. Okay, and just like that. Now the engine did kick on as I started to head out, but since the engine isn't directly connected to the wheels, there was like zero torque bump for when the engine started, and that's really nice. And the engine running is almost like a non-issue. You can barely hear it. And they do a pretty good job, actually. So the acoustic, one of the problems with a series hybrid is that in principle, the engine noise is disconnected from what the wheels are doing. And so you can have the awkward situation of the engine running full blast while you're sitting at a light doing nothing. And that's a little disconcerting. They've tuned this such that it doesn't do that. So the engine shuts off when you're off, and runs low when you're idling along in a parking lot. And then the engine ramps up as the vehicle needs more power. So it's a little more connected with how the vehicle operates, which is really nice. But you still have the complete smoothness of an electric vehicle. I love that. So highway, it's pretty damn smooth, I'd have to say. I didn't notice the engine kicking on. There was a little bit of a growl. You could just sort of hear faint growl of the engine as it kicked in.
There, that means the engine's on.
Yeah, engine's on, and it's feeding power to the battery. And then the battery feeding power to the electric motor, which this electric motor I think is in common with the Leaf motor, and it delivers plenty of power for this vehicle. So, because it doesn't have the giant battery of a typical EV, the car is not overly heavy, and so 210 horsepower delivers pretty decent acceleration.
Paul,
yeah.
Now that we've been cruising around for a little bit, give me your overall impressions.
Well, I think that Nissan's got a winner here. That this is going to be, it's got enough unique personality with the series hybrid feel to it that it's going to be a really strong competitor. I think that Toyota and Honda should be paying attention to what this car is able to do. It's very smooth. The engine start is completely seamless. And so that's going to be something that Toyota and Honda are going to have a hard time competing with. If they can get the highway fuel economy to be competitive, which it sounds like they are able to with the engine that they chose, that 1.5 liter turbo, is going to give them good thermodynamic efficiency, and so at highway speed, they're going to be able to do pretty well with the fuel economy. And this kind of car makes a lot of sense. That the average person is going to be able to save hundreds of dollars every year on gas relative to the ICE version of this same vehicle. So that's why a lot of people are choosing the hybrid.